As long as it's physical and it has a set of rules, you've got yourself a sport. At least you do according to the people who play these.
Thrown from a walrus skin blanket, contestants are judged on height, balance, form, and landing.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 unusual sports in the world.
Well, I said it was a little crazy for the X Games as well. It got into the first X Games. After that, that was it. Too crazy for him.
For this list, we're looking at sports that may look or sound baffling, but actually require skills and effort, like mainstream or more well-known sports do. And who knows, you might just find yourself a new sport to get into here.
Injuries are commonplace.
اسب بلغت زد سر اسب سوار بودم یک اسب پیش بود ما پشت سر اسب گوساله داد دست بود ما پشت سرش میرفتم بلغت زد همین قسمت پای اومد.
Number 10, 1-foot high kick. Sometimes known as the Inuit 1-foot high kick, this game is one of the events at the World Eskimo Indian Games in Fairbanks, Alaska. Though its name makes it sound easy, this sport in fact requires great finesse and flexibility.
It's just a battle for your own personal best heights.
The athlete can start from either a standing position or from a running start, after which the competitor will jump with both feet and kick a suspended ball or a piece of seal. But there's a catch. After jumping, you must land perfectly with the foot you kicked with or you will be disqualified. Number 9, Quidditch.
Hello and welcome to Hogwarts' first Quidditch game of the season. Today's game, Slytherin versus Gryffindor.
Times have changed since J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series was adapted into a blockbuster franchise. Not only do we have booger-flavored jelly beans and Emma Watson, but also we can now be genuine Quidditch players.
I found out we didn't have a team, I was just kind of shocked, so I decided right then and there that I had to start one.
Ever since this formerly fictional game was first played in 2005 at Middlebury College in Vermont, the popularity of the sport has broom-rocketed within universities all around the world.
Now for the latest in the Intercollegiate Quidditch series, this week we saw an intense matchup between the Middlebury Panthers and the Princeton Tigers.
January 2013 was the first time Quidditch was televised as a sporting event, and its reputation has been growing ever since. One particularly cool thing about the sport is that it lets you show off your broomstick without having to carry a dustpan.
This is a Nimbus 2000. It's the freshest model out of the market today.
Number 8, shovel racing.
So the rules are simple. Anyone can participate there, riding a standard aluminum snow shovel down the front of Angel Fire's ski mount.
Set aside the broom because now it's the shoveler's time to shine.
Handle looks like it could do some damage, no doubt about it.
Does it ever sound like some sports were created by employees with too much time on their hands? Well, in fact, some of them were. During the 1970s, ski resort workers in New Mexico would use their shovels to race each other down the slopes at the end of the night.
All right, son, let it rip, buddy.
As a sport, shovel racing sees competitors sitting on their shovels with their feet pointed forward and sliding down hills like there's no tomorrow, sometimes reaching a speed of 70 miles per hour.
But I have the world record at 73 miles an hour, and when you're doing 73 miles an hour sitting this far off the snow, it feels like 173.
Due to safety reasons, the sport has been dropped from the X Games, but shovel racing remains an annual winter event in New Mexico.
It's a tradition. The only thing that's on my calendar at the beginning of every year.
Number 7, Sepak Takraw, also known as kick volleyball.
Kick up what to serve. Ready? Left, off.
Raise your leg if you think volleyball is overrated. This sport and its name have Malaysian and Thai origins, with sepak meaning kick in Malay and takraw meaning woven ball in Thai. First played during the 15th century, Sepak Takraw sees players using their feet, head, knees, and chest to touch the ball, and it's actually quite common to see an amazing move such as the glorious bicycle kick during play. If you think you can kick but are more concerned about the landing, then try out Spain's bossa ball instead. It's another sport similar to volleyball, but instead it has an inflatable court with trampolines on each side of the net and incorporates features of other sports as well.
The sport has been a hit in several countries, with bossa ball clubs having been established in Germany, the Netherlands, Portugal, Brazil, Romania, Ecuador, and Saudi Arabia.
Number 6, extreme ironing.
Of all the sports in the world, this one must be one of the weirdest.
Looks like someone got so bored ironing that they had to take it to the extreme.
Today we're going to try and break the world record for underwater ironing.
These ironists will travel to the most bizarre locations, such as the mountains, forests, and even underwater, to prove that there are no excuses for those wrinkles.
It looks like this record will be broken in a frenzy of bubbles, with a little steam let off along the way.
The rules are pretty simple. Go iron your clothes in remote locations or places no one would have thought of and make it look extreme. One thing to note, there's some argument about whether it's actually a sport or not. Regardless, it's interesting to think that while so far many ironists have attempted crazy stunts, as far as we know, no one has attempted ironing while playing Quidditch. So please let us know if you attempt this or hear of anyone who does.
Well, extreme ironing is the latest dangerous sports that combines the thrills of an extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed show.
Number 5. Buzkashi.
It's a game which involves landing a headless goat in a goal.
Persian for goat dragging, this sport consists of up to 500 horseback riders attempting to drag the carcass of a goat or a calf across the goal line. You can imagine how brutal it can get when players are fighting for the carcass.
Heavy snow doesn't stop play here. These riders have been going for 3 hours.
Depending on the variation of the game, which is mostly played in several Central Asian countries, you're free to do almost anything as long as players don't intentionally strike or whip each other.
You might get hold of one leg, someone else has got the other leg.
The Afghan Olympic Federation introduced rules to make the game a bit more tame by toning down the violence and formalizing the number of players, but it still involves a dead animal on the field.
It's Afghanistan's national game.
Number 4. Wife carrying.
The wife carrying world championships is one of the most bizarre sporting events in the world.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Why not sign up for the wife carrying contest? Originating in Finland, this sport is now practiced in other parts of the world and even has a category in the Guinness Book of World Records. According to the International Wife Carrying Competition Rules Committee, there is only one category, and the winner is the male and female team that's able to finish the course in the shortest time.
It's okay.
Sounds fairly simple, except when you consider that the official track length is 831.7 feet, with both dry and water-based obstacles. As for the prize, that depends on your wife's weight in beer, naturally.
Great job, bro. Great job. Yeah.
Number 3, cheese rolling. The annual cheese rolling event at Cooper's Hill was traditionally done by the villagers that lived near Gloucester in England, but it has now become a world-famous event.
And we have a lot of crazy people flying downhill chasing a roll of cheese that travels at about 65 kilometers an hour.
How does it work? A 9-pound round of double Gloucester cheese is released at the top of Cooper's Hill, and the competitors follow after it in an attempt to catch said cheese. However, the sport has somehow turned more into a race.
So I'm just going to try and stride as long as I possibly can and hope to stay on my feet.
Seeing how the cheese can reach a speed of 70 miles per hour, it seems highly unlikely for anyone to even get near the damn cheese. So instead, participants try to be the first to reach the finish line at the bottom of the hill. Just when we thought we could play with our food.
So what are you going to do with the cheese if you win?
I don't know, I don't even like cheese.
Number 2, chess boxing.
Let's get ready for chess boxing.
The more you think about this sport, the more you may realize there's something artistic about its very nature.
1 minute you fight to survive in the ring, very emotional. And the next minute you sit on a board, moving stones.
That's because Ipe Rubin, a performance artist who is now the president of the World Chess Boxing Organization, created it.
There will be, the game of the century, Lennox Lewis against Vitaly Klitschko. We all make a world championship out of it,
Typically, you either have brains or brawn, but to play this sport, you require both. A fight consists of 6 rounds of chess and 5 rounds of boxing, which alternate.
We start with 3 minutes of chess, then we box for 3 minutes, then we go back to the chessboard, continue the same game, and you ultimately win by checkmate or knockout.
Each round follows the regular rules of each game, meaning you can win each round by either critical thinking or throwing critical hits.
He puts pressure on him, he lands blows, but Andrew, a former kickboxer, involuntarily hurts Gianluca.
If the game is a stalemate, the player with the most boxing points will take the title,
depriving the crowd of either a checkmate or a knockout. Frank Stolt, Anti-Terror, is the new heavyweight champion.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Another crowd favourite event at the Mud Olympics is the Mud Sled Relay. Teams of 3 taking it in turns to push a sled along a boggy course.
Lays it off to TJ Reid, who scores!
The speed of the game, the hand-eye coordination, the size of the field.
It's been described as a form of mayhem.
But ultimately, the bottom line is it's something like we've never seen before.
Number 1, oil wrestling, also known as grease wrestling.
It's absolutely crazy. I can't believe I'm here in Turkey doing it.
For our number 1 entry, we visit Turkey. This national sport can be traced back all the way to the ancient Babylonian times, with the annual Turkish oil wrestling tournament making it one of the oldest sporting competitions still being played in the 21st century.
This is a championship steeped in centuries of tradition and tons of olive oil.
In Turkey, approximately 1,000 half-naked men will compete for the 3-day elimination tournament and wrestle each other while heavily drenched in olive oils. All athletes are required to wear leather breeches called a kisbet, and during matches, they are encouraged to pin each other down by slipping their arms through their opponent's kisbets to get a firm grip. But don't worry, boys, for safety reasons, the coin purse is a total no-go zone.
Fletcher's gone straight under. 1, 2, 3. One apiece.
Do you agree with our list? What do you think is the most unusual sport?
Extremely modified for this sport. Don't try it at home, kids.
For more educational top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Keep it here for all your favorite Quidditch matches.